on to Arthur Smith very quickly. I think I'm going to run this as one segment. Arthur Smith, the former Titans offensive coordinator, responsible for the offensive explosion in Tennessee over the last couple of seasons. And if you know anything about Tennessee Titan football, it's that the offense more or less has been pretty embarrassing for the better part of the decade. Marcus Mariota didn't exactly work out. Not necessarily his fault. He was always injured, but I can't remember a Titans running game being this strong since when Eddie George was playing. And a part of that is because Derrick Henry is an absolute beast freak of nature, but the other part of that is because of Arthur Smith doing a really good job at balancing the Titans offense. You can only have a good running back if the defense has something to fear in the passing game, because if you just have a good running back, even though it's Derrick Henry, you could still crowd the line of scrimmage and you could still effectively neutralize him for most of the game. So Arthur Smith did a really good job at balancing the offense for Tennessee. He saved Ryan Tannehill's career, raised Ryan Tannehill's QBR by, I believe, around 24 points, improved his touchdown to interception ratio, really turned Ryan Tannehill from a bum-esque player on the Miami Dolphins and turned him into probably one of the better starting quarterbacks in the AFC. Now, I do think that a lot of why Ryan Tannehill was performing so poorly was because of Adam Gase, because as a resident Miami Dolphins fan and a Green Bay Packers fan, but I was born and raised in South Florida, as a Dolphins fan, I saw a lot of talent in Tannehill, but he was never quite able to get it together. And when you look at who was there the last two seasons where, when you get to that point in your career, the Dolphins needed to make a decision. Do you move on from Ryan Tannehill or not? Adam Gase was the head coach, and if you see how far Adam Gase regressed Sam Darnold, you can understand why Ryan Tannehill moved on to Tennessee and then was able to start rebuilding his career. Obviously, it's kind of a mesh. It's not one person over the other in terms of effort here. Both people had to come together, both Ryan Tannehill and Arthur Smith needed to come together to make this marriage work, and it worked. Arthur Smith did a great job with Ryan Tannehill, but not to mention that also the Titans had a 1,000-yard receiver in A.J. Brown. Almost had two. Corey Davis was, I believe, like 20 yards short. I don't think it was exactly 20 yards. I'm using 20 yards as a ballpark number, but they were so close from having not only a 2,000-yard rusher in Derrick Henry, but also having two 1,000-yard receivers in Corey Davis and A.J. Brown. So the only thing that I would say, and keep in mind, we're talking Arthur Smith as the Falcons head coach. The only thing that really bothers me is that the Falcons have I think it's like $37 million over the cap space. So Arthur Smith is not going into a good position. He's got to make some really tough decisions about the future of Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, and some of the higher paid players on that roster. It's starting to get to that time. Obviously, Julio Jones is still relatively young. I think he's 29 at this point. But that Falcons offense is starting to have the window close in terms of what it's going to be able to do, just simply because of cap space and also age. I think Matt Ryan probably has about 2 years left. And it's not that Arthur Smith will do a bad job. And a lot of the cap space also falls on the GM. So the GM got fired. I don't think that the Falcons have a new general manager yet. They will eventually. But that $37 million is definitely going to hinder Arthur Smith's impact at the very beginning, just because he's going to have to try and figure out player personnel along with whoever this new general manager is. It's going to be a tough situation going into it, but I think he's capable of doing it. I'm just not sure how much of the success of the Titans offense goes to the fact that Derrick Henry is Derrick Henry. And I don't know how much of the success of the Titans offense is due to the fact that Ryan Tannehill is actually a good quarterback that was sitting under Adam Gase. I think if I had to pull straws, I probably would have picked Eric Bieniemy as my head coach over Arthur Smith. Obviously, Eric Bieniemy is the offensive coordinator for the Kansas City Chiefs. He has Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill. He's got a great offense and perennial Hall of Fame talent under him as well. So the argument, obviously, against Eric Bieniemy is that he's been enabled by this talent, but I probably would have hired Eric Bieniemy over Arthur Smith in this specific situation. Regardless, either one of them is going to have to come into a team with an older, aging offense and come into cap hell with whoever this new general manager for the Falcons is. But taking it at face value, Arthur Smith is a good hire. It might not be the best hire at this point, but you certainly could do worse. Obviously, there's a couple of really bad misses wherever the coaching carousel, whenever the coaching carousel starts, and I'm not going to say that Arthur Smith is a miss. Obviously, I think he does have some really good offensive talent, and he's going to try and come in and clean up and try to salvage the remaining years of Matt Ryan and potentially set up the future for the offense of Atlanta with whoever they draft in either this draft or the next draft. It's very possible that they take Justin Fields or Zach Wilson at 4. I would not be surprised if the Falcons take Zach Wilson at 4. So Arthur Smith, good hire, could have been better with Eric Bieniemy, but I think at that point you're just clutching at straws. It goes down to personal opinion. But the Falcons got a pretty good head coach. Really, really happy with Robert Saleh in New York, as we talked about in the previous segment. Not sure if we're going to split up the segment or keep it as one. But yeah, very, very happy with both those hires. I think they'll do some good work for both those franchises. Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching this segment from the Hard-Headed Sports Podcast. If you're interested in watching more highlights from the show as they come out after the show's completion, you should definitely hit the subscribe button and turn on the bell to turn on those notifications so you never miss an upload. If you're interested in listening to the whole show in its entirety, you can listen to the show on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and Anchor. Again, thank you so much for watching the show. I hope you have an incredible day, and I will see you all very soon.